Hey guys, it's Sage here with some commentary for you guys. But anyways, today I thought I would talk about hurricanes and my previous experience in hurricanes. As many of you may or may not know, I live in the Miami area. I've always lived here until around the age of 10 where I moved to the West Coast. But anyways, Hurricane Andrew, if you guys remember that, ripped through Miami and destroyed everything. Now that was, I think, the same year I was born, so we thankfully had moved up north to a little safe haven, just for the time being. We did have a trailer down here, which got almost demolished and was unusable. So after we moved back down here after Hurricane Andrew, we got a house and everything. But Miami was demolished. I mean, it was in very bad shape to that hurricane. Hurricane Andrew was a Category 5 hurricane. It destroyed everything in its path. And if I was still in the city while Hurricane Andrew hit, I would have been dead, and you wouldn't have been hearing this commentary. Thanks to God that didn't happen, and thanks to everybody else, not that many casualties occurred in Miami. A lot of casualties, but not as many as, let's say, Katrina. Now, my second hurricane that I remember was on the west coast of Florida. Hurricane Charlie, if any of you remember that one. But that one was a terrible, terrible hurricane that ever hit the west coast of Florida. That was intense. Well, let me tell you, I moved to the west coast after the age of 10 because we got tired of Miami, and we moved into a house. We actually built the house. We hired a bunch of people. They built the house for us, and we moved in. And it was a very nice house. Thankfully, it was very well built, so there was not really any problems with the house after the hurricane. Thanks to God again. Not that many casualties. Of course, the west coast of Florida has a city called Cape Coral. That's where we moved to, and it's a very dry patch of land with not that much around it. Just patches of land with some stores in there. But those houses are built very good, and they can withstand a hurricane such as Charlie, or even a Category 5. Maybe not Andrew, but thank God I survived. Thank God for everybody that survived, because it was an intense experience. During Hurricane Charlie, we actually just watched TV until the lights went out, and then we just sat in the living room just talking, doing nothing. And it was an experience. I remember we went to the eye of the storm, and I was like, "Whoa, is the storm over?" And then when I went outside and I looked up, holy crap! It's just the eye. It's so beautiful. If you haven't ever seen an eye before, you're in the eye, you're in the center of the eye, you see a wall of storms around you. It's intense. It's perfectly calm in the eye, and you don't feel anything. You don't feel any winds, nothing. It's perfectly calm, just like any other day. Except once you hit that wall again, it tears shit up. That hurricanes are the most deadly during the eye wall. The eye wall is the most powerful part of the hurricane, where the highest speeds of winds are, and it will tear up anything in your path. It would have made me fly if I stayed there, but thankfully I went inside. I rejoined my family and just sat, ate some food, did something, nothing much. But after that hurricane, we were out of power for at least a week and a half, which was an incredible experience to me. Saying that I had to get some water. We had to save all the water that we could so we can take a bath. And we took baths every 2 days. We had to use cold water, so it was very ghetto style. Unfortunately, we did not have a generator that many of these families in Cape Coral do have. They have a generator to power their electricity, maybe their AC, and maybe get some water out of it. Take a shower with the faucet, with all that stuff. But we didn't have that, so we were just doing barbecues every day, and we took a shower with very extremely cold water. Well, I don't think it was that cold. It was just that I was using hot water all my life. So, yeah, well, with the luxury of hot water all your life, you never really understand how cold normal water is. So, that was an experience, especially when I went to school and there was electricity at school and there was no electricity where I lived anymore. It took about a week and a half, but they got it fixed, and we were glad, and it was a happy day. But anyways, Hurricane Isaac just went through here, and let me say, Hurricane Isaac is nothing like what happened during Hurricane Charlie or Hurricane Andrew. Hurricane Isaac, it's not even a hurricane, it's a tropical storm. Might as well be a tropical depression because it is not that big of a storm, it is not that powerful of a storm, and it's not worth all the hype. The Weather Channel often, I don't know what they do. They're starting to act like CNN and NBC with their exaggerations. They exaggerate everything to an extent. Like earlier, they were saying they're evacuating Miami-Dade County area, and Broward County area because this storm is so huge and powerful. They're doing mandatory evacuations. And I live in the Miami-Dade area, and nobody's doing mandatory evacuations. Everybody's going to work. Everybody's doing their work. And I even had to go to work, okay? A few of my coworkers were bitching because like, oh, why don't we go home because there's a hurricane, and it was stupid. My coworkers are bitches. But yeah, nobody's gonna send you guys home. I'm not gonna send you guys home. It's a category, not even a category 1, it's a tropical storm. Of course, Hurricane Isaac might get powerful as it hits the Gulf, and it might get much more powerful from the Gulf hot water around there, because if you guys remember, Katrina was a category 1 until it hit that peninsula, and then it got all of its energy from the Gulf of Mexico, got all that hot water, got it up, got those speed winds up, and it turned into a category 5 hurricane when it hit Katrina. I mean, not when it hit Katrina, when it hit New Orleans, and that was devastating. So I really hope that doesn't happen with Hurricane Isaac. I know it's gonna power up a little bit, but hopefully not as much as Katrina did. So let's hope for that. But for everybody to be freaking out about Isaac was just ridiculous. I was driving home from work, like a little 30-minute drive. I took some stops, got some food on the way. There was nothing bad going on. Yes, there was wind. Yes, there was rain, but nothing bad. I got home safe. The biggest problem that I had was keeping my food dry because there was a lot of rain, and trying to find a parking spot. So it was not bad at all. But hey, the Weather Channel, all news corporations always exaggerate everything. So I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. So I hope this entertained you guys, or gave you some information on my background and how I survived these hurricanes, because I've been through a couple of hurricanes and they're not as bad as many people say. As long as you have shelter, food, water, everything you need, you should be just fine. Hopefully you don't have a house that isn't built properly, that might be unsturdy, that might topple. You better make sure, if you live in Florida, you get a good quality house, because you don't want that to happen to you. Especially even if you live through it, you don't want to have to rebuild your house. So I hope you guys liked the video, liked the gameplay. Give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.